Thailand is often called the Land of Smiles, and for good reason. It blends rich heritage with warm hospitality. Rooted in Buddhism, Thailand's culture is shaped by centuries-old traditions, magnificent temples, royal palaces, and festivals like Songkran, Water Festival, and Loi Krathong, Festival of Lights. Its history reflects influences from ancient kingdoms like Sukhothai and Ayutthaya, while still preserving unique Thai identity. From the golden temples of Bangkok and ancient ruins of Ayutthaya to lush jungles in Chiang Mai and serene beaches in Phuket and Krabi, Thailand offers stunning contrasts. Its floating markets, rice fields, and vibrant city life add to the charm. Thai people are renowned for their friendliness, politeness, and respect. The graceful Y greeting and the spirit of Sanuk, finding joy in everything, reflect the nation's warm approach to life. Thailand is a global hotspot, attracting millions with its cuisine, wellness retreats, nightlife, adventure sports, and cultural tours. Street food in Bangkok, elephant sanctuaries, island hopping, and traditional Thai massage are iconic experiences. Thailand is a land where spirituality meets modern vibrance, a place of golden Buddhas, turquoise seas, bustling markets, and heartfelt smiles. Thailand, a land where temples kiss the sky and beaches melt into dreams, where monks seek nirvana and backpackers seek cheap beer. Here, ancient kingdoms live in golden silence, while night markets buzz louder than prayers. It's beauty, chaos, and kindness in one bowl of spicy soup, served hot with a smile that never fades. Thailand wears its beauty well. Golden temples, turquoise seas, and smiles that never fade. But beauty is only half the story. Like every other country, there are shadows here too, things most people won't talk about and tourists will never see. Power wrapped in tradition, silence sold as loyalty, and truths hidden beneath the incense smoke. So let's dive into that side of the story. Welcome to the Wisecrack Monk, and today we're looking at things you probably never knew about Thailand. The rule, the government, and Section 112. A monarchy is a form of government where a single ruler, king, queen, emperor, or sultan, holds authority, usually inherited through family bloodlines. Monarchies can be absolute monarchy. The monarch has complete power over laws, politics, and religion, e.g., Saudi Arabia, Brunei. Constitutional monarchy. The monarch is symbolic or limited by a constitution, while elected governments handle actual power, e.g., UK, Japan, Sweden. Hybrid forms. Somewhere in between, where monarchs hold symbolic power but still wield strong political or cultural influence. Thailand is officially a constitutional monarchy, but in practice, it's more complex. The king is not supposed to govern directly, but he holds immense cultural, spiritual, and political influence. The monarchy is deeply tied to Theravada Buddhism. Thai kings are seen as Dhamara, righteous kings, upholding Buddhist law and protecting the faith. Criticism of the monarchy is suppressed under lèse majesté laws, Section 112, which are far stricter than in other constitutional monarchies. The military often justifies coups and rule by declaring itself a protector of the monarchy, giving the crown indirect but powerful influence over politics. Historical legacy. The Chakri dynasty, since 1782, modernized Siam, Thailand, while keeping kingship sacred. Even after becoming a constitutional monarchy in 1932, kings remained central figures. The monarchy is tied to Thai nationalism and Buddhism, seen as the soul of the nation. Monarchs, especially King Bhumibol, Rama IX, were seen as stabilizing figures during decades of coups, protests, and political unrest. The monarchy and military often reinforce each other. Monarchy provides legitimacy, the military provides protection. So, while Thailand is a constitutional monarchy on paper, in reality, it's a hybrid system. The monarchy acts as a sacred institution with influence far beyond that of symbolic monarchies like the UK or Japan, but without the full absolute power of Saudi Arabia. Once upon a time, the Thai king was seen as more than a ruler. He was the Dhammaraj, the righteous king. Guided by Buddhist virtues, his duty was to live with compassion, fairness, and sacrifice, protecting both his people and the Dharma. For centuries, this spiritual image gave the monarchy a sacred aura. People bowed not just to a man in a palace, but to the idea of a moral guardian of the nation. But here's where the story twists. That sacred respect became a shield for others to hide behind. The military, time and again staged coups and then declared themselves the protectors of the king. Politicians and elites wrapped themselves in royal loyalty to dodge accountability. And then came Section 112, the Lèse Majesté law, meant to protect the dignity of the crown, but in practice turned into a weapon. Take historian Sulak Sivaraksa. In 2014, he asked if an ancient elephant duel involving a past king was historically accurate. That single question nearly landed him in jail for Lèse Majesté. Or student activist Jatapat Paidao Din, who in 2016 shared a BBC article about the new king. Over 2,000 people shared it, but only he was arrested because he was also leading protests against the junta. Selective justice at its finest. Then came the youth protests of 2020, when thousands of students openly called for monarchy reform. Not abolition, just reform. But their leaders, like Anand Nampa and Panusaya Rung, were hit with multiple Lèse Majesté charges. Criticism of royal budgets, land use, or political meddling was suddenly equated with treason. And in 2021, the system showed its teeth. A former civil servant was sentenced to 43 years in prison for sharing audio clips online. Her original sentence? 87 years. Reduced because she pleaded guilty. That was the harshest Lèse Majesté sentence in Thai history, and a clear message to anyone else thinking of speaking up. The truth is, Section 112 doesn't just protect the monarchy, it protects the entire power structure around it. Military rulers justify coups as defending the crown. Elites use the law to silence rivals. Judges hand down absurd sentences to scare the public into silence. So the irony is this. A monarchy that was supposed to stand for truth, compassion, and dharma became the cover story for a system where corruption, coups, and silence thrive. The king may have been placed above politics, but politics never hesitated to use his name. And that's the Thailand few tourists will ever see, where beauty shines in the temples, but shadows creep in the halls of power. The Golden Triangle and the underworld's organized crime. Decades ago, this borderland of Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos became infamous as the world's opium heartland. Villagers grew poppies, warlords refined them into heroin, and smugglers shipped it across the globe. By the 1970s, the Golden Triangle was supplying nearly 70% of the world's heroin. Thailand, sitting at the crossroads, became the perfect middleman. But heroin was just the beginning. As opium fields shrank, the cartels shifted to synthetics, methamphetamine, or yaba, as the locals call it. Tiny pills, cheap to make, easy to smuggle, and worth billions. Myanmar's Shan state turned into a meth superlab, and the drugs poured into Thailand by the truckload. In 2018 alone, Thai authorities seized over 200 million meth tablets. That's not a typo, 200 million. And those were just the shipments they caught. Behind the curtains were kingpins like Zaisana Keopimfa, the so-called Laotian Pablo Escobar. For years he lived in Bangkok, driving Lamborghinis and dining with high society while trafficking billions worth of meth. When he was finally arrested in 2017, whispers spread of how deeply he was connected. Police, politicians, businessmen. In Thailand, crime doesn't just hide in the shadows. It sits in VIP rooms. But drugs are only one side of the triangle. Human trafficking is the other. Thailand became the destination and transit hub for thousands of desperate migrants, men, women, and children from Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. Some ended up as cheap labor in factories or fishing boats. In 2014, an investigation revealed entire fleets of Thai fishing vessels run on modern-day slavery. Men were beaten, starved, chained, and forced to work for years at sea. Some never came back, their bodies dumped into the waves. The scandal grew so large the European Union threatened to ban Thai seafood exports. And then came the Rohingya crisis. In 2015, authorities discovered mass graves near the Thai-Malaysian border. Rohingya Muslims fleeing persecution in Myanmar had been captured by traffickers, held in jungle camps, starved, beaten, and left to die. When the truth came out, even a senior Thai army general was convicted. That told the world what locals already knew. The system wasn't blind. It was complicit. So why does it continue? Because the money is too good, and the networks run too deep. The drugs fund militias. The trafficking fuels industries. And the politicians and officers meant to stop it often take their cut instead. Every so often, there's a flashy raid or a high-profile arrest, but it's theater, cleaning the surface while the machine keeps running underneath. The Golden Triangle isn't just a place on a map. It's a shadow economy built on chemicals and human bodies. To tourists, it's misty mountains and river cruises. To the world, it's a pipeline of drugs and trafficking. And to the powerful, it's a gold mine they'll never shut down. Organized crime doesn't survive this long without friends in high places. And in Thailand, the Mafia's best friends wear uniforms and hold office. Police generals with side hustles and gambling dens, politicians who campaign with Mafia money, and the military who love to call themselves defenders of the nation, while sipping tea with the very people poisoning it. Every few years, the government stages a grand show, raids, arrests, and flashy press conferences. Remember Thaksin's war on drugs in 2003? Over 2,500 people killed in so-called crackdowns. But here's the twist. Most of the dead weren't drug lords. They were small-time users, scapegoats, or unlucky souls. The real bosses? They walked away untouched, protected by the same system claiming to fight them. Take Kamnan Po, the so-called godfather of Chonburi. For decades, he ruled Pattaya like his personal kingdom. Gambling, extortion, construction, politics, you name it, he owned it. Convicted? Sure. Served time? Barely. He lived out his days in luxury until 2014, proving once again, in Thailand, prison is for the powerless, not the powerful. Or look at the networks tied to Japanese Yakuza and Chinese triads. They run trafficking rings, loan shark operations, even casinos. Bangkok's glam nightlife? Scratch the surface and you'll find their fingerprints everywhere. Locals know. Tourists don't. That's how the system survives. Speak too loud and you disappear. Ask too many questions and Section 112 or a bullet might answer. The Mafia doesn't just control crime, it controls silence. And the government? They don't fight the underworld. They are the underworld. Different faces, same family portrait. The reality is this. Thailand's underground economy fuels its overground one. Drugs, trafficking, and nightlife profits bleed into politics, real estate, and tourism. The government doesn't ignore crime. They're often a part of it. To tourists, Thailand sells paradise. To locals, it's survival in a system where mafia, money, and power are inseparable. Sex capital of Asia. One of Thailand's biggest paradoxes. On paper, it's a 95% Buddhist country, monks and temples at the center of life. But somewhere between the golden spires and saffron robes, it earned the global title of sex capital of Asia. The story starts in the 1960s and 70s, during the Vietnam War. The US military turned Thailand into a rest and recreation hub for soldiers. Bars, brothels, entertainment districts. They didn't just pop up, they exploded. Once established, the sex industry became an economic machine too profitable to dismantle. Fast forward, and it's not just foreign soldiers anymore. Poverty pushed many rural Thai women and men into cities. Sex work became survival. Tourism followed, growing into a $50+ billion industry, a chunk of which is tied to the neon-lit world of red light tourism. Legally, prostitution is banned. Practically, enforcement is selective. Corruption, local agreements, and tacit political tolerance keep the industry alive. Instead of eradicating it, authorities manage it, license it, and profit indirectly. Now, where does Buddhism fit in? Theravada teachings preach detachment, compassion, and morality, but Thai practice blends folk beliefs, karma, and merit-making. A sex worker can still make merit by donating to a temple or supporting family. Religion shapes the culture, but it doesn't rigidly enforce morality. Throw in cultural attitudes. Thailand is pragmatic, non-confrontational, and surprisingly tolerant of gender fluidity. Ladyboys, or kathoi, are visible and accepted, showing a society comfortable with contradictions. And that's the paradox. Saffron robes and sacred temples coexist with Bangkok's neon lights, Pattaya's red light streets, and Phuket's nightlife. Religion governs the spirit, economics and politics govern survival. And Buddhism? It quietly lets people live with the contradiction. So Thailand didn't become the sex capital because of culture. It became the sex capital because poverty, politics, and tourism created the industry, while religion provided a cultural framework that made it survivable. On paper, prostitution is illegal in Thailand, but in practice, it's an economic lifeline. For many, it's survival, helping people feed their families, pay rent, or escape poverty. Behind the scenes, the government and even mafia networks manage, profit, and protect it, turning vice into a multi-billion-dollar engine. Spiritually, Theravada Buddhism often turns a blind eye. Sex work isn't inherently sinful. You can still make merit while living in contradiction. But there's a darker side: human trafficking. Not everyone chooses this life. Some are forced into it, their freedom stolen for profit. Like every coin, there are two faces. Thailand's sex industry is both lifeline and exploitation, survival and injustice, neon lights and shadows. And that, my friend, is the country's paradox. Thailand is paradise. The people are warm, welcoming, and some of the nicest you'll ever meet. From its lush jungles and golden temples to street food, festivals, and centuries-old traditions, it's a place full of life, color, and positive energy. You should definitely visit. It's a country to explore, to feel, to experience. So why did I make this video about the dark truths? Because knowing the other side, the history, the shadows, the struggles, changes the way you see the people. It makes you respect the locals, the workers, the guardians of this land. Next time you walk these streets, you won't pollute their nature. You won't treat the smiling locals or the people working in the sex industry as objects. You'll see them for what they are: humans keeping this paradise alive, steady, and real. Thailand's soul isn't just in its temples or beaches, it's in its people. And that, my friend, is the real deal. Thanks for watching the Wisecrack Monk. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe for more truth bombs. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. See you next time.